is Frankie Abbruzzino with the Uncensored Report. Today, we're going to talk about a difficult subject matter. It's difficult, not for me, I can discuss it. It's difficult for a lot of people to comprehend. It's difficult for a lot of individuals to hear about. It's difficult all around. It's called gender pronouns. Now, ever since this whole thing started, from the bathroom, it's funny, I was watching a video. Now, it wasn't too funny. I mean, it was interesting yesterday, and maybe I'll put a link to it, where a lady went into the bathroom, a Spanish lady, spoke English, but, you know, a little broken with an accent and stuff. And she went into the bathroom, and guy was in there, and she just went off on the individual for using the lady's bathroom with this whole transgender thing. And I know at Pineview, locally here, there was a kid last year, maybe a year before, that started this whole transgender, we need to use the bathroom Pineview thing. And since then, they've had, from parents, are alleging, I gotta say alleging, that a lot of students are going in there purposely and saying, oh, I'm transgender, but they're not, and using it as a reasoning to get into the girls' bathroom. And this all goes around with this whole gender pronoun thing. There's this article I was reading. It was pretty interesting. It was about the City University of New York, CUNY. And what they're doing is they're actively out there propagating a gender identity and pronoun manifesto that they want their students to follow. And what it does is it basically goes out and tells these people, okay, this is it. This is our manifesto. And we're going to take the English language, we're going to tip it on its head, we're going to bastardize it, we're going to idiosyncratize, I don't know what the wording is, it. They're going to do all that. They're going to replace traditional gender pronouns with completely made up ones. Because, you know, there is no X and Y and all that stuff. It's all about what you're feeling today. You know, I'm feeling like how do you feel if you're a 16-year-old girl and you're out there, I don't know, what, you're wrestling or you're running or doing whatever sport girls do, and you get a 16-year-old boy that says, well, I'm feeling like a girl. I'm going to go and play with the girls' team. And it's happening. They're beating everybody on track because their gender identity. Use these pronouns. They're completely made up. They reflect a variety, a litany of modern-day gender identities. But this school, and a lot of schools, I should say a lot of the liberal colleges, and I say liberal colleges because 80% of them are liberal professors that work at them, they'll push it, but they're not sanctioning this whole move towards gender identities. Choose your own gender identity. And that's what this school is doing. They're sanctioning this movement. And they're saying that's the responsibility of every person out there in the world to probe whether it's appropriate and how to address somebody. He, she, they, me, whatever pronoun they want to use. Those who choose to be gender neutral. Normal people who accept normal gender pronouns, like he and she, according to this manifesto, are the bad guys. They have a privilege. A privilege that the people that live by gender identity, narrative, politics, or whatever you want to call it, don't have. They don't have to worry about which pronoun someone else is going to use on them. And that puts the gender identity folks at a disadvantage. They say you have this privilege, us normal folks, but yet we don't. We go out, we fail to respect the gender identity of others. We're disrespectful, which leads to oppressive behavior. Because we will not go out there and call the person by the gender they want to use. And how the hell do we know which gender they are? How do I know if I go to somebody and say he, that she's a she? If I say they, that they're a they? How do I know? There's what? I think there's like 60 gender pronouns now out there. But like I said, other schools are doing it. They hand out guides. But none of them basically are circulating it and integrating it into their philosophy, into their campus cultures out there, like CUNY. And they believe that forcing people to use these made-up genders out there is appropriate because it shows respect to the whole, LGBTQISAAA community. They say it's a pronoun is a usage and is a basic way to respect one's identity. Again, I thought there was he, she, X, and Y. There isn't a set of standards for which gender pronouns are acceptable and which ones are not. So how do I know which one to use? They change all the time, like I've indicated in this speech. And what this does is it suggests that not only us normal folks out there, that we're expected to go out and learn all these pronouns and to ensure that we're using the correct pronoun when we're talking to individuals. This whole litany of made-up gender pronouns. And we have to do it because of the snowflake. We have to pacify their feelings. This and what many people would deem as a mental illness. But now it goes even a step further now that we're expected to learn all this stuff. We're expected to learn the variety of gender pronouns. Especially if you go to CUNY and you're on their campus, if you want to survive in their environment, if you want to interact with others. And this is why many of us who I deem normal, not mentally defunct, are going completely mad. I can't figure it out. I don't know what he, she, it wants to be called. I have no idea. And how, in the grand scheme of things, does this constitute higher education? What about this manifesto that they're pushing is higher education? You tell me about that. I went to the University of Maryland. I don't remember any of this stuff when I went there. Well, I went there, graduated. Oh, man. It's been years, over 20 years. Actually, over 25 years, I think. Now they're one of the more liberal campuses out there. But I just don't remember these challenges. I used to go up to John and say, hey, buddy, hey, boy, hey, John, hey, guy. Now, if I go up to John, I got to be careful because he may want to be called Susie or girl. I just don't know. I'm confused. I'm lost. And that's where the Uncensored Report sits today. What say you? This has been Francesco Abbruzzino with the Uncensored Report.